It's Tuesday, and I think we should call it Tremendous Tuesday. Terrific Tuesday. It's going to be the best Tuesday ever. I mean, you look outside, the weather is going to be perfect. It's going to be better than perfect. It's going to be magnificent. It's going to be exceptional. It's going to be exceptionally terrific. It's going to be a terrifically tremendous Tuesday. But you know, not all Tuesdays are terrific. Not all Tuesdays are tremendous. Let me tell you about my Tuesday 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, my son borrowed my Suburban so that I can keep his car and fix the harmonic balancer that had went bad. The next morning, 7 o'clock, he calls me and he says, "Hey, Dad, your Suburban won't start." And I assume, well, maybe you just left the lights on or the key turned over or what have you. So I grab my jumper cables, head over to his place, and jump it. There about 30 minutes, no luck. What now? So I take the battery out, run it over to AutoZone, get it checked and get it charged up. In the meantime, I go back home, fix his car so that he can go on to work. Get a call back, the battery's good, so I go over, pick it up, install it back in the Suburban, turn the key over, nothing. I mean, it turns over, but there's no fire. So what now? Well, I assume I've got a fuel problem, so I go back home, I get my wife, and we tow the Suburban back home. Drop the gas tank, pull the fuel pump, install a new fuel pump. In the meantime, I poke a hole in the tank. That's my luck. I mean, that's the way I work. A 20-minute job is going to take me 2 days to get done because I always make extra work for myself. So what now? Now I patch it and let it sit until the next day. Next day, put the tank back in, get her strapped up, fires right off, the car is good. We drive it around for a week, and then last Saturday we take it down to Bonaparte to go geode hunting. And it's a 50-mile trip, and I notice on the way down we start having a little bit of trouble. And I think it's another fuel issue, but I'm not certain. So I don't shut the car off all afternoon. We make our trip home. Remember, it's a 50-mile trip. This trip took us over 2 hours. I had lost all power, couldn't accelerate over 30 miles an hour, and we're just struggling. What now? Well, I assume that since I replaced the fuel pump, maybe I've got a bad fuel filter. So I replaced the fuel filter. Good to go. Until Tuesday. Tuesday, my wife takes it to Oskaloosa, 30-mile trip, calls me on the way home and says, "The truck just stalled. I can't get it to start, and things aren't good. What now?" So I ask her, "Hey, honey, what's the temperature gauge say?" And she says, "Well, it's past 260. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. So we've overheated, the thermostat failed, and now we're stalled out. So I go to Eddyville. That's as far as she got with 15 miles. I tow her home 15 miles. Put some more antifreeze in, put a new thermostat in, fire it up, and she's chugging. And I'm thinking, what now? So I look at the engine, I see that I've got a couple of plastic T-connectors that have broken, and so I replaced them. I replaced the bypass valve, and everything is good. Fill her back up with antifreeze, fires right up, but she's smoking like a chimney. What now? I'm thinking, maybe I've blown a head gasket. So I get the vehicle over to my buddy's house, we tear it down, and of course the gasket is blown, but we pull the heads off and the heads are cracked. What now? I tell you what, we got a lot of what now questions. Things aren't really playing into my favor. They aren't going as planned. And almost daily I'm asking, all right, what next? And what now? So yesterday we all know that the governor reopened some things in our state. And some people are happy. And others are saying, you know what, we've not even reached our peak yet. So what now? For the last several weeks we've been on edge and we've been wondering if we're going to make it through these days, haven't we? We're still uncertain. We're not out of the woods. But we've been in this for a while, and I think that we can safely say, you know what, we are going to make it. It's not going to be easy, nor is it going to be short, but we are going to make it. And I think that we all can agree with that. So let's transition the question a little bit from are we going to make it through these days to what are these days going to make of us? In other words, what now? Let's keep working that question just a little bit more. Let's work the question like this. God, what do you want me to learn through this? God, who do you want me to become because of this? God, how should I respond? How can I grow as a result of what I've been through? God, how can you use this to do something extraordinary in our lives as a result of what we've been through? God, what have I learned that I wouldn't have learned if it wasn't for this pandemic? How can you use this season of life as training ground for the next season of life? We can't wait to get back to normal. None of us can wait to get back to normal. But I wonder, and we've got to ask, does God really want things to go back to normal? I mean, over the last few months, we've been able to do some things that weren't normal things. I mean, we've spent time outside. We've spent time with our family. We've had family dinners. We've had family movies. We've done a lot of things that we didn't used to do. We've invested time in ourselves. We've invested time in our family. We've invested time in our friends through calls, through cards, through Facebook, through different encounters. We've grown emotionally. We've grown spiritually. We've grown relationally. So the question is, does God really want us to go back to normal? Does he really want us to go back to the busy schedule? I wonder if normal could be the enemy of God's best. Not that normal was bad, but was it really best for our lives? Maybe it wasn't God's plan for your life to be that busy. Maybe normal wasn't God's dream for you. So let's not get back to something, but rather let's allow this something to get us something better. I mean, the purpose of this trial is not to return to normal, but to result in a better future. Listen to what James says. James says in chapter 1, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds." And that's where we're at right now. And he says, consider it joy, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance, and perseverance must finish its work so that, that's a purpose clause, the purpose of trials, the purpose of the pandemic, the purpose of difficulties in life is so that, that's the purpose, that we may be mature and complete, lacking nothing. The purpose of the trial is not to return to a normal past, but to result in a better future. Isn't that good? Yeah, today's going to be a terrific Tuesday. It's going to be a tremendous Tuesday. It's going to be an absolutely magnificent Tuesday. It's a choice, and the choice is yours. Have a great day.